remember the first time I felt something was not right. It was a quiet night. I was sitting alone in my small apartment. The room was warm, but my heart felt a little cold. I was looking at my phone again and again. I was waiting for her message. Her name was Leora. She was 26. She was kind, funny, and very friendly. I liked that about her. I really liked that about her. But that night, I felt strange. I felt confused. Leora and I had been together for almost 1 year. Not too long, but not too short. I knew her habits. I knew her smile. I knew the way she talked when she was happy. And I also knew when something felt different. She had many friends. Most of them were men. At first, I did not care. I told myself, it's okay. She is just friendly. I wanted to trust her. I really wanted to trust her. And I did trust her. I still do. But sometimes trust is not the problem. Sometimes the feeling inside your chest is the problem. There was one friend. His name was Kalen. He was her best friend from high school. They knew each other for many years, much longer than I knew her. They talked every day, morning, night, even late at night. Sometimes I saw her smiling at her phone. Sometimes she laughed softly. When I asked, she said, "It's just Kalen." Just Kalen. I tried to feel okay. I told myself, he is just a friend. Just a friend. But something in my mind kept asking questions. Small questions. Quiet questions. One day, we were sitting together in a cafe. The place was simple, soft music, warm lights. I liked that place. She was telling me a story. She was laughing. Then her phone buzzed. She looked down. She smiled again. That smile, I noticed it. I asked, "Who is it?" She said, "Kalen." I nodded. I smiled too. But inside, I felt something small. Something uncomfortable. I did not like that feeling. I did not understand that feeling. Later that night, we went back to her apartment. It was clean and cozy. She had soft pillows on the couch, a big blanket. Everything looked warm, safe, nice. We sat together and watched a movie. She leaned on me. I felt happy. I felt calm. This is what I wanted. Simple moments, quiet love. Then, in the middle of the movie, she said something that stayed in my mind. She said, "Kalen loves this movie. We always watch it together." I paused. I looked at her. I tried to sound normal. "You watch movies together often?" I asked. She nodded. "Yeah, all the time. We usually just relax, talk, and watch something." I said, "Oh, okay." I did not ask more, but my mind started moving. It started thinking. Too much thinking. A few days later, we were texting at night. I asked her what she was doing. She replied, "Watching a movie with Kalen." I looked at the message. I read it again. And again. I asked, "At your place?" She said, "Yeah." I waited a few seconds. Then I asked, "Just you two?" She said, "Yes, of course. Why?" Why? That word stayed in my head. Why? I didn't reply fast. I didn't know what to say. I felt something again. That same strange feeling. Bigger now. Louder now. I typed slowly. "Nothing. Just asking." But it was not nothing. That night, I could not sleep well. I turned in my bed. I looked at the ceiling. I closed my eyes. Then I opened them again. My mind was busy. Too busy. The next day, I decided to ask more. Not in an angry way, just calmly, just honestly. We met again in the evening. We walked in the park. The air was cool. People were talking, laughing, living their lives. Everything looked normal. But inside me, things were not normal. I said, "Can I ask you something?" She smiled. "Of course." I took a breath. "When you hang out with Kaylin, what do you guys do?" She laughed a little. "Nothing special. We just chill, talk, watch movies." I nodded. Then I asked, "Do you sit close? Like, on the couch?" She looked at me. Her smile changed a little. Not gone, but softer. "Yeah," she said. "We're close friends." I swallowed. My heart beat a little faster. Then she said something that made my chest feel tight. "Sometimes we cuddle," she said. I stopped walking. I looked at her. "You cuddle?" She said it like it was normal, like it was nothing. "Yeah," she said, "just like friends. It's not a big deal." Not a big deal. I tried to understand. I really tried. I said, "Like hugging?" She shook her head. "No, like lying together, under a blanket, watching movies." I felt quiet, very quiet. The world around me felt slow. I heard people, but I didn't really hear them. I saw things, but I didn't really see them. I asked, "You do that when I'm not there?" She said, "Yeah, but it's just us being comfortable. There's nothing romantic." Nothing romantic. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But my heart felt heavy. My mind felt confused. I asked, "Does his girlfriend know?" She looked away for a second. "We don't do it when she's around." That answer did not help me. It made things worse. Much worse. I felt a small pain in my chest. Not strong, but real. Very real. I said slowly, "That feels strange to me." She looked at me again. "Why?" "It's just friendship." I didn't know how to explain. I didn't know the right words. I said, "I don't know. It just feels not right." She sighed a little. Not angry, but not happy. "You're overthinking," she said. "It's normal for us." Normal. I stayed quiet. Maybe it was normal for her. Maybe it was normal in her world. But in my world, it was not normal. It felt wrong. It felt uncomfortable. It felt like something was crossing a line. But I was scared to say more. I did not want to fight. I did not want to look jealous. I did not want to lose her. So I smiled a little. A fake smile. "Okay," I said. But inside, I was not okay. I was not okay at all. That night, after our walk, I went back home alone. The streets were quiet, but my mind was loud. Very loud. I kept thinking about what she said. I kept hearing her words again and again. "We cuddle." "It's normal." "Nothing romantic." I sat on my bed and looked at the wall. I felt tired. I felt confused. I tried to tell myself, "It's okay. She is honest. She told you the truth." But another voice inside me said, "But why does it feel so wrong?" I lay down, but I could not sleep. I closed my eyes, but I saw them together, sitting close, under a blanket. watching a movie, laughing, relaxed, comfortable. That image stayed in my head. I did not like it. I really did not like it. The next morning, I woke up late. My body felt heavy. My heart felt heavy too. I checked my phone. There was a message from Leora. "Good morning." I looked at it for a long time. Then I typed back, "Morning." I wanted to sound normal. I wanted to feel normal. But I was not normal. She asked, "Are you okay?" I paused. I thought about telling her everything. I thought about saying, "No, I'm not okay. I feel strange. I feel uncomfortable." But I was scared. I did not want to start a problem. So I wrote, "Yeah, just a little tired." She replied, "Ah, get some rest." I put my phone down. I felt alone. Very alone. The day went slowly. I tried to work, but I could not focus. My mind kept going back to the same thing, again and again. In the evening, she asked if we could meet. I said yes. We met at her apartment again. The same couch, the same pillows, the same blanket. Everything looked the same. But now it felt different, very different. I sat down, but I did not feel relaxed. I looked at the blanket. I imagined them there again. I felt that tight feeling in my chest. She came and sat next to me. She smiled. She leaned close. "You seem quiet," she said. I nodded. "Just thinking." She touched my arm softly. "About what?" I took a deep breath. My heart started beating faster. I knew I could not keep quiet anymore. Not like this. I said slowly, "About what you told me yesterday." Her smile faded a little. She looked at me carefully. "You mean about Kaylin?" she asked. I nodded. There was a short silence, a quiet, heavy silence. Then I said, "I don't feel okay with it." The words came out slowly, but they were honest. Very honest. She leaned back a little. "What do you mean?" I tried to explain. I really tried to explain clearly. "I trust you," I said. "I do. I'm not saying you're cheating, but cuddling like that, with another guy, it makes me uncomfortable." She looked at me, but her face changed. She did not look soft anymore. She looked serious. "It's just how we are," she said. "We've always been like this." I nodded. "I understand that. But now you're with me. Things are different now." She crossed her arms. "So you want me to change my friendship?" I quickly said, "No, not everything, just this one thing, the cuddling." She shook her head. "You're making it a big deal." I felt my chest tighten again. "It is a big deal for me," I said quietly. She sighed. A long sigh. I could feel the distance growing between us. "You're being insecure," she said. That word hit me hard. Insecure. I looked down at my hands. I did not want to fight. I did not want to argue. But I also did not want to ignore my feelings. "I'm not trying to control you," I said. "I'm just telling you how I feel." She stood up and walked a few steps away. She looked frustrated. "I don't like this," she said. "I don't like feeling like I'm doing something wrong when I'm not." I stayed seated. I felt small. I felt weak. "I'm not saying you're wrong," I said softly. "I'm just saying it hurts me." She turned and looked at me. "Hurt?" she asked. I nodded. "Yes, it hurts." That word stayed in the air. Hurt. For a moment, she looked unsure, like she did not expect that answer. Then she said, "But it's innocent." I looked at her. "Maybe for you, but not for me." Another silence. Longer this time. I could hear my own breathing, slow and heavy. Then I asked something that had been in my mind for days. "Why doesn't he want to meet me?" She blinked. "What?" I repeated. "You said he doesn't really want to meet me. Why?" She looked away. "He's just like that." "That doesn't make sense," I said. She shrugged. "He doesn't like meeting new people." I frowned. "But I'm not just new people. I'm your boyfriend." She did not answer right away. That silence said a lot. I felt something change inside me, something deeper, something more serious. I stood up slowly. "This is not just about cuddling," I said. "It's about respect." She looked surprised. "Respect?" I nodded. "Yes. I feel like there is a line, and right now that line is not clear." She shook her head again. "You're overthinking everything." Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I didn't know anymore. All I knew was how I felt. "I need you to understand me," I said. "I need you to see my side." She looked tired now. "And I need you to trust me." "I do trust you," I said. "But trust is not the only thing. Boundaries are important too." She did not reply. The room felt cold now. Not warm like before. Not safe like before. I looked at her one more time. "I'm not asking you to stop being friends," I said. "I'm asking you to think about what is okay and what is not, now that we are together." She looked at me, but I could not read her face. I felt tired. So tired. "I think I should go," I said. She did not stop me. I walked to the door slowly. My steps felt heavy. Each step felt harder than the last. Before I left, I turned back. "I care about you," I said. She nodded, but she did not smile. "I care about you too," she said. But it did not feel the same. I walked out into the night. The air was cool again. The same street. The same city. But everything felt different. This was no longer a small feeling. This was becoming a real problem. The next few days felt strange. Very strange. Everything looked normal on the outside, but inside me, nothing was normal. I woke up, I worked, I ate, I slept, but my mind was always busy, always thinking. Leora and I still texted. We still said good morning and good night, but the feeling was different now. The words were the same, but the meaning felt weaker. I could feel the distance growing, slowly, quietly, but clearly. Sometimes she took longer to reply. Sometimes I did too. It was like we were both waiting for the other person to say something, waiting for something to change. But nothing changed. One evening, I was sitting at home again, alone. The same room, the same silence. I looked at my phone and saw her message. I'm at Kaylin's place tonight. I stared at the screen. My chest felt tight again. That same feeling came back. Stronger this time, louder this time. I typed, "Okay." Just one word. She replied, "We're just watching a movie." I did not reply after that. I put my phone down and stood up. I walked around the room. Back and forth. Back and forth. I tried to calm down, but I could not. My mind started showing me pictures again. Them sitting close. Them under a blanket, laughing, relaxed, comfortable. I felt angry. I felt sad. I felt confused. I asked myself, why am I still okay with this? Why am I staying quiet? I stopped walking. I looked at the wall. I'm not okay, I said to myself. I was not okay anymore. I picked up my phone again. My hands felt a little shaky. I opened our chat. I read our old messages. The happy ones, the simple ones, the sweet ones. Then I looked at the recent messages. Everything felt different now. I typed slowly, "Can we talk tomorrow?" She replied after a few minutes. "About what?" I paused. Then I wrote, "About us." There was no reply for a long time. That silence felt heavy, very heavy. Finally, she said, "Okay." The next day felt even longer. I could not focus on anything. My mind was only thinking about one thing: our talk. In the evening, we met again. Not at her apartment this time. We met at a small park, quiet place. Not many people. The sky was gray. The air felt cool. Everything matched my mood. She arrived a little late. She looked normal, calm, maybe a little tired. "Hey," she said. "Hey," I replied. We sat on a bench. There was space between us. Not too much, but enough to feel it. For a moment, no one spoke. Then I said, "I've been thinking a lot." She nodded. "Me too." I took a deep breath. "I don't feel comfortable with your relationship with Kaylin," I said. She looked at me, but she did not speak. I continued. "I tried to accept it. I really tried. But I can't. It doesn't feel right to me." She sighed softly. "We already talked about this." "I know," I said, "but nothing changed." She looked down. "Because I don't think I should change." That answer hurt. It hurt more than before. I nodded slowly. "Okay, then I need to be honest too." She looked at me again. "I feel disrespected," I said. The word came out clearly this time. No fear, no hesitation. Her eyes widened a little. "Disrespected?" "Yes," I said, "because you know how I feel. But you still do it." She shook her head. "It's not about you, it's about my friendship." I felt something inside me break a little. "But we are in a relationship," I said. "It should also be about us." She stayed quiet. I continued. "If something hurts you, I would stop. I would think about you." She looked away. "You're asking me to give up something important." "I'm asking you to set a boundary," I said. "There is a difference." Another silence. The wind moved softly around us. Leaves made small sounds. I noticed everything, every little detail. Maybe because I was nervous, maybe because I was scared. Then she spoke again. "I think you're making this bigger than it is," she said. I looked at her. "And I think you're making it smaller than it is." We both stopped talking. That moment felt like a wall between us. A big wall. Then I asked one more question. A question I was afraid to ask. "If I did the same thing with another girl, would you be okay?" She looked at me quickly. Her face changed. "That's different," she said. I frowned. "Why?" She did not answer right away. "It just is," she said finally. I shook my head slowly. "No, it's not different." She looked frustrated now. "You don't understand." "Then help me understand," I said. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. That silence said everything. I felt calm suddenly. Not angry, not loud, just calm, very calm. And that calm feeling made me realize something. We see things differently, very differently. I looked at her and said quietly, "I don't think we are on the same page." She looked at me, her eyes a little softer now. "What do you mean?" she asked. I took a deep breath. "I mean, what feels okay for you does not feel okay for me, and what feels important for me does not feel important for you." She did not speak. I continued, "And that's a problem." The words felt heavy, but true. Very true. She looked down at her hands. "So what are you saying?" she asked softly. I looked at her for a long moment. My heart felt heavy again, but my mind felt clear, very clear. "I think we need to decide what matters more," I said. "This relationship or staying the same." She stayed quiet. The air felt still. Time felt slow. Everything was waiting for her answer. And in that moment, I knew something was about to change. I looked at her face. She looked confused. She looked sad. Maybe she was thinking. Maybe she was trying to choose. Finally, she spoke. "I don't want to lose you," she said softly. Those words touched my heart. They really did. For a second, I felt hope. Small hope. Quiet hope. But then she added, "But I also don't want to change who I am." And just like that, the hope became smaller again. I nodded slowly. "I understand." And I did understand. I really did. She was honest. She was not hiding. She was not lying. She was just different from me. I took a deep breath. "I don't want to change you," I said. "I never wanted that." She looked at me. Her eyes were soft now, a little wet. "But I also can't ignore how I feel," I continued. "I tried. I really tried. But it's still there. The feeling is still there." She whispered, "I thought you would get used to it." I shook my head gently. I thought so too, but I didn't. We both sat there, very still. The space between us felt bigger now, much bigger. I looked at the ground. I saw small stones near my feet. I moved one with my shoe, back and forth, back and forth. I needed something to do, something small. "I think we want different things," I said quietly. She did not reply right away. Then she asked, "So, what happens now?" That question felt heavy, very heavy. I looked at her again. I saw the girl I liked, the girl who made me laugh, the girl who made me feel warm before all this, and that made it harder. But I knew the answer. "I think we should stop," I said slowly. The words were simple, but they hurt. They hurt a lot. She looked at me, shocked. "Stop?" I nodded. "Yeah, stop being together." Her eyes filled with tears. She blinked, but they did not go away. "This is because of Kaylin?" she asked. I thought for a moment. Then I said, "No. It's because of how we see things. Kaylin is just part of it." She wiped her eyes quickly. "So you're leaving me because of a hug?" I shook my head again. "It's not just a hug. It's what it means. It's the feeling behind it." She looked down. I could see her trying to understand. But maybe she couldn't. Maybe I couldn't understand her either. "I didn't think this would end us," she said quietly. That was the truth. We sat there for a few more minutes. No words, just silence. Heavy silence. Then she stood up slowly. "I guess this is goodbye," she said. I stood up too. My legs felt weak. "Yeah," I said. We looked at each other one last time. No anger, no shouting, just sadness. She stepped closer and hugged me. A soft hug. A real hug. I closed my eyes for a second. I felt everything. The good memories. The simple days. The laughter. Then she pulled away. "Take care," she said. "You too," I replied. And then she walked away. I watched her go, step by step, slowly, then faster, until she disappeared. I stood there for a long time. I did not move. I did not speak. I felt empty. Very empty. That night, I went home alone again. The same room, the same bed, but everything felt different now. I sat down and looked at my phone. No messages, no good night. Just silence. I lay down and stared at the ceiling. I felt sad. I felt tired. But also, I felt calm. Yes, calm. Because deep inside, I knew I made the right choice. Not the easy choice, but the right one. Days passed, then weeks. Life slowly became normal again. I woke up, I worked, I ate, I slept. Sometimes I thought about her. Sometimes I missed her. That was normal, that was human. But I also remembered how I felt before. The confusion, the discomfort, the pain. And I knew I did not want to feel that again. One day, I sat with a friend and told him everything. He listened carefully. Then he said, "You did the right thing. You respected your feelings." That sentence stayed with me. I respected my feelings. Yes. That was it. Sometimes in life, people are good. They are kind. They are honest. But they are not right for you. And that's okay. Not every relationship is meant to stay. Not every love is meant to last. And that does not mean someone is bad. It just means you are different, very different. And in the end, I learned something important. A relationship is not only about love. It is also about understanding. It is about respect. It is about boundaries. If two people cannot agree on these things, the relationship becomes heavy. It becomes painful. And love should not feel like that. Love should feel safe. Love should feel calm. Love should feel right. So I walked away. Not because I did not love her, but because I loved myself too. And that is the moral of my story. Sometimes you must choose peace over love. Sometimes you must listen to your heart. And sometimes letting go is the most honest thing you can do.